Hey, I'm Anthony Snyder of Anthony's Comic Book Art, and here I have a preview and a showcase of what's gone up on the website recently. Now, this isn't like a claim sale or anything. We're going to get to that. What we have here is everything that's just gone up this week. Okay, so we have a nice selection of CGCs, Swamp Thing, Superboy, Cull. These are in no particular order. Liberty Meadows, Justice League, nice 10-cent Justice League, number 4, Bronze Age Invaders, Old House of Mystery. Oh, this is a good one. This is a really nice one. This is the first Inhumans and Lockjaw and the Inhumans, and not Medusa. Medusa was a little earlier, but that's a nice 6.0 CGC for $335. Now, all these CGCs have already gone up on my eBay store, and they're ready to get bid on. Yay! So here's the first Atom in Showcase. Very undervalued book. This will be on my top 10 of undervalued books. The first appearance of Atom. Here's Rex the Wonder Dog. He was that was a movie. Yeah, I think that was a movie. Okay, Shadow Comics with a Doc Savage backup story. Now this is old. This is 1947. So that's what they call two of the first wave of heroes, the Shadow, Doc Savage. So that's cool. That's almost like a pulp, but it's a comic book. Okay, here's the first appearance of the Kree warrior costume Captain Marvel, which was kind of a dead character, well, let's call it dormant. It was a dormant character until they used that costume in the movies. Alright, so we have the Marvel Universe to thank for reinvigorating these characters like Captain Marvel, and that it goes all the way back to Iron Man 1. I mean, Iron Man was kind of an unsellable title until Iron Man and the Avengers, and that built up the whole fandom for Iron Man, and like Daredevil on Netflix, Luke Cage on Netflix. So here's a fun Atlas. Stan Lee wrote a lot of these. Girly book, Wendy Parker, and Patsy Walker, who was used in Alias, and what's her name? Alias, who's used in, what's her name? Yeah, Jessica Jones. Yeah, it was Patsy Walker was used in Jessica Jones. That's part of this kind of world. And now here's the first Legion that was used. They made a TV show out of that was really critically acclaimed. Here's a Micronauts 1, nice Kirby, Mr. Miracle, and then some DC horror, Dr. Fate. All very affordable. We have some better stuff on the rack behind me we're gonna look at. I try to offer all different price points. Now, this is a really nice copy. A 7.0 is kind of higher grade for these books. This is from 1955. It's an EC book, and what do you not see on here? The Comic Code of Approval. This is pre-code horror. I mean, you kind of like, in my mind, I kind of separate it. It's like there's pre-code horror or there's EC. But no, EC is the class, the very highest level of pre-code horror. The best writers, the best artists. That's why these things are super collectible and really hot. We got $650 on that 7.0. Now, getting back to hero books, which is my love. FF, this is the first Puppet Master, one of the classic FF villain that, he was around the whole time in the Marvel Universe from here on out. He was very involved. It turns out, wasn't Alicia his daughter that became Ben Grimm's girlfriend? Yeah, I think at one point he was. Anyway, okay, here's an Aquaman 1. Really nice copy of that. Anything over like a 5 is good for Aquaman. For some reason, Aquaman was kind of tossed around back in the day. And here is a nice Star Trek one. Now this is the adaptation of the TV show. And Spock was a huge star at the time. You see, he got the big picture, and Shatner got the little picture. I'm sure if he saw that at the time, it really pissed him off with his ego. So, the weird thing about this is that they kind of farmed out the art and the interiors to an Italian artist, and he really didn't know, he'd never seen the show. So there's some things in these books when you read them that are kind of kooky, but and you know, like there's thrust coming out of the back of the Enterprise and stuff like that. But I happen to like these. I had William Shatner. I did a signing with him. I have nice Ceracells available that are signed by him on the eBay store and the website. Now, and I asked Shatner, hey, what was your favorite episode? He's like, I don't have one. I was like, what was your favorite female co-star? It's like, oh, yeah. But then he still wouldn't answer me, and I'm like, okay, what was your favorite episode of TJ Hooker? Ha, you're funny. That's what I got from him. All right, so now we got a nice, timely, All Winners Comics 15. Really strong cover with Cap fighting the Anaxis power, the Japanese Imperial Army. We're not just going to call them all the bad words they used to use. But so this is a wartime comic, you know, by the famous and master of the wartime covers, Alex Schoenberg. Now this art, and super collectible. There's no more collectible artist in the wartime era than Alex Schoenberg. So we got that for, oh, I hadn't priced that one yet. That one's not up. So, and the last one we got here is a nice copy of Our Army at War 112. It's got the whole cast of Easy Company with Sergeant Rock, done, you know, of course, by the greatest war artist ever, Joe Kubert. So, you know, it turns out that I had some interaction with the school, and he was he not only did comics, he had contracts with the U.S. military doing manuals and you know, how-to things, how to build a bivouac, I don't know, that kind of stuff. So I actually bought all his reference books. So I have like 100 of these reference books. Before the internet, artists had to have reference. You know, if they were drawing a tank or drawing a particular type of machine gun, like German machine guns, you know, they would have binders and the references. And I have like 100 binders of from his files that we're sorting through and selling. So that's cool. Now, these are examples of some of the deals I've done recently. And one of the best deals I've done recently is this Humberto Ramos collection. Now these are covers by Humberto Ramos, and you see the price tags on them. Not cheap. This guy is one of the great Spider-Man artists of the modern era. So we have these Spider-Man art covers, and then we have these amalgam mashup guys. This is Captain America and Doctor Strange. And then we have his concept art that goes along with it. This is Iron Man and Thor. Okay, so I had one where it was X-23 and Wanda, and that one sold. There's another nice Spider-Man cover. So I'm in pretty deep on these on this deal. It was a pretty significant amount of money. So these are all available right now on the website. This is kind of a Marvel how to draw book, or his sketchbook, one or the other. Which one is it? Oh, Marvel Fundamentals. I think that was a self-published sketchbook. And here's a really cool X-Men. And here's another really cool X-Men with Old Man Logan. And all right, Peanut Gallery. Who's he there with? Oh, that's a version of Ms. Marvel. Okay, go. Cool. So, let me hand this off to my not-so-lovely assistant. And let's go on to what? Oh, okay, more Humberto Ramos. All right, let's cover this Humberto Ramos deal. This is the best piece from the deal. We have the Spider-Man Black Cat cover, and everybody just like, oh wow, I love that, I love that. Nobody's pulling the trigger yet, so now you can. All right, so this is Venom and Cosmic Ghost Rider cover, two hot characters in the Marvel Universe. This is a Daredevil versus Elektra as a Skrull. She's like gotten taken over by the Skrull. Back, this is 2 years old, so that's cool. And then we have maybe one of the most popular characters in the MCU right now. Everybody asks for art from her, and when I was unpacking this, a guy bought the best page, a really good splash page from that features this character. Peanut gallery? No. Put your glasses on. No, the girl with the sword.
Magic.
Magic. She is magic. Yeah, she's in the movie The New Mutants. I haven't seen it yet, but we'll see how that goes. Not so lovely assistant. Take these. Okay, take these. And then here we have a really fun batch of Alan Kupperberg, Ignacio the Clown. 2-page features from Crazy. So these really big, large art, and they are all 2-page features, 1 and 2, and they're all like in the $400 range, so $200 a page. They all got funny gags, and then this guy crossed over, Alan Kupperberg. He got Marvel to publish a comic book, so there is some Marvel crossover appeal with Ignacio, and there was a following, and it's a fun character that we were lucky enough to get a batch of it, from the guy who got it from Alan Kupperberg before he passed away. So that's available on the website. That was just put up. I'm just showing you some examples of everything we got here. So we do strip art. This is Bob Lubbers and Secret Agent Corrigan. You see some of the, the darks and the moodiness that Al Williamson imparted to this strip and got famous for. Everybody wants the Al Williamson versions. This is the guy that did it before him, Bob Lubbers. It's very nice on craft tin board, just like those Ignacio pages. So this craft tin, they supplied the dot matrix type thing and the toning for the newspapers. So I have these, and I have Al Williamson strips as well. So that's on the website. Now what came, I did a big deal for the Gray Morrow collector that I sell to all the time. Ended up wanting to liquidate his collection, and these are some Gray Morrow commissions. You have a single figure, Modesty Blaze, which is a question, the novelty question of what book was John Travolta reading when Bruce Willis came in and shot him in Pulp Fiction when he was on the can. Modesty Blaze. That's because, the director, Quentin Tarantino, is a big fan of this kind of she was a female spy, like Honey West and that era stuff. And then we have a Dracula and a hypnotized babe that he's gonna, do his stuff to. And this one's a really nice, complex one, with like a naked Catwoman, and then a full-figured Catwoman, and a leopard, and Batman, and he's got a gun, like in the original, and the original Batmobile, and then I believe that's Bruce Wayne type thing. So, got a really nice selection of Gray Morrow art that's on the website now as well. So, not so lovely assistant. Now, Luis Dominguez. Luis Dominguez was a very prolific cover artist for DC. All right, so he did a ton of horror covers and stuff like this. This is some of his work from South America before he came to America. Look at this, it's beautiful. It's great. It is what it is. It's like ads and story illustration, but this is painted art. Some of this stuff has stuff on the back that's really cool, and none of these do. Okay, so, but I have a bunch of Luis Dominguez stuff and stuff like this Argentinian work that he did before America. Now, getting on to the chunkier art, well, here's Bob Hope. Now, Bob Hope, you know, that's kind of last generation 20th century stuff, but this is a humor comic art by a great artist for the humor stuff, Bob Oxner. He had just a perfect style that kind of bridged the gap between, you know, comic book art, you know, and fun stuff. And, you know, he did Bob Hope, he did Jerry Lewis, he did other humor related stuff. He just had a great way of things with the humor comics of, you know, this is from the 60s. This is, yeah, 68. And he actually lived in North Jersey, not too far away from here, so there's a bunch of his stuff floating around. So we have Bob Hope. Now these are fun. These are Don Heck Aquamans, and it's a nice action page. And I especially like this one because Mira is like swimming around in a bikini. Gotta like that one. You know, we gotta like Mira in her bikini. Okay, so Don Heck was really good artist. You know, he kind of gets the short end of the stick as far as how, you know, collectors and people think about him artistically. But, you know, this is a really pretty Iris Allen, you know, Barry Allen's wife from The Flash. And that's just a kind of a page of them, you know, out of costume. You know, here's a Flash super speed action page. From about the same issue, and this is from that same issue that's got some Flash, you know, fighting some scuba guys. So hero pages, you know, these are 70s hero pages. This is Bronze Age stuff. Okay, so now we got some Superman family pages. We have Superman, that's a page with him all over it. We have Superboy with Dial H for Hero in a cool girl version. You know, the Dial H for Hero had its own book at one time for DC, so this kind of a crossover like DC team up version, and she's got this cool scalloped costume on, and those are neat. I like them. I like Dial H for Hero. I kind of read that book because I had an entire Silver Age collection by the time I was going into 8th grade, and I read all the Marvel, all the DC, everything. This is Red Tornado, kind of underutilized character, but they kind of brought him back a little bit in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, which was the best thing ever done that we love. I wish that never would have ended. So what else we got? Oh, a couple more. Couple more DCs. This is Kurt Schaffenberger's Superboy. He is the artist that people want in Bronze Age Superboy. And then this is a specialty job that Saviuk did for Superman. I don't know what this EHAPA stands for, but there's some cool action pages, and they're affordable. So those have gone up on the website last night. Now, oh, this is so cool. This is a very hot artist at the time, Sean Gordon Murphy. This is concept design art for a Wonder Woman in the steampunk style. And so that's his character design for a Wonder Woman steampunk version. So I'd like to see, you know, you girls that can pull that off, maybe do that kind of cosplay. Okay. All right, so go with the classic guys. This is a panel from a Prince Valiant Sunday. Now this guy, at the time, Hal Foster, was working in Sundays that were this big. So this is just one panel. So, you know, kind of extrapolate that. This is one panel of that comic book page. This is one panel of his Sundays. So they were folding like this with these two huge. Gosh, I don't even know. They're more than twice up. They were like 4 times up. So he valued his work so much at the time, there was no market for it, that if you wrote him a letter, he would cut them up and send you a panel. It's crazy that these panels were just cut up from this published work. You know, here's some kind of evil adversary to Prince Valiant. Maybe he's plotting against Prince Valiant. But this is 9 by 12. It's a 9 by 12 panel for about $900 to get a piece of Hal Foster art that's signed. So cool. Now these are some other, just a variety of things. Now I'm willing to do production art. I have a lot of color guides. I have a lot of stats and stuff like that. Now, I've kind of helped bring along this market in the way that, you know, as original art has become more and more expensive, you know, collectors on a budget that want a piece of this kind of material can get a piece. Like, you know, this is an Al Plastino Superman, this Bob Oxner, you know, Lex Luthor type guy, and Jerry Lewis is Superboy. And so that's a stat. It has some art on the sides, but it's a production, and this is what went to make the comic book, and that's for $250. Now here's a guy that I did a lot of business with when he was still living, Gene Colan. Now these just went up on the website again. This is the character in this issue. This is the cover scene where she's fighting the lower power, Mr. S. I'm not gonna say his name, but these pages are cool because I think her name is Domini, the Bride of Dracula, and Rachel Van Helsing. So you got the two hot chicks of this series on these pages. Somebody's in a hurry to come buy some art. So moody Gene Colan art. Alright, so now we have a fun Archie cover, and it's fun because he's playing music with the Archies, and then you have Sabrina and then Josie all on the same cover. So that's very reasonably priced at $4.25 because it's kind of got panels of the different characters, but it's got all those different Archie characters. Now, this is a